Lieutenant Maya Kovac slipped through the hydraulic doors of Lecture Hall 7 with practiced silence, her boots barely whispering against the polished floor. The chronometer on her wrist blinked accusingly, 9:47. 17 minutes late. Professor Thelvara, a towering centaurian with iridescent skin that shifted through the visible spectrum, paused mid-sentence. 6 of her 8 eyes tracked Maya's movement toward an empty seat in the back row, while the others remained fixed on the holographic star chart suspended above her desk. "How generous of you to join us, Cadet Kovac," the professor's voice resonated through the chamber, each syllable precisely modulated. "I trust the traffic from your dormitory was particularly challenging this morning." Maya settled into her seat, feeling the stares of 47 alien cadets burning into her back. Her uniform still smelled faintly of smoke and ozone, and she'd barely had time to shower the red dust of Kepler 442b from her hair. A Vraxian student 2 rows ahead wrinkled his triple nostrils in obvious disgust. "My apologies, Professor. Unavoidable delay." Maya activated her data tablet, trying to ignore the way her hand still trembled slightly from the adrenaline crash. Thelvara's primary eyes narrowed, a gesture Maya had learned indicated skepticism in Centaurian body language. "Indeed. As I was explaining to your punctual classmates, the Kepler Accord of 2287 established clear protocols for diplomatic resolution in contested territories. Violence, the Accord maintains, is the refuge of primitive species unwilling to engage in civilized discourse." Maya bit the inside of her cheek. 12 hours ago, she'd been crouched behind a barricade of plasma-scarred shipping containers, coordinating a 3-pronged assault against the Sovereign Front's position in the mining colonies. The rebels had taken 17 hostages and were threatening to detonate the colony's fusion reactor. There hadn't been time for civilized discourse. A notification pinged softly on her tablet. Maya glanced down, careful to keep her expression neutral. Commander Reeves had sent a classified brief, "Mission success. 17 hostages recovered. 0 casualties. Rebel cell neutralized. Exemplary work, Lieutenant. Take the rest of the day for debriefing." She closed the message quickly, but not before the Elysian student beside her caught a glimpse of the military encryption seal. The young alien's bioluminescent patches flickered with curiosity, then understanding, then something that might have been respect. "The human tendency toward aggressive intervention," Thelvara continued, manipulating the star chart to highlight several red zones, "remains one of the most troubling aspects of your species' integration into the Galactic Alliance. Time and again, humans resort to what you call tactical solutions when patience and dialogue would suffice." Maya's jaw tightened. The Sovereign Front hadn't been interested in dialogue. They'd been interested in independence at any cost, even if that cost was measured in civilian lives. The hostages, including 3 children, would have been vaporized if her team had waited for the diplomatic corps to arrange a negotiation. "Professor, if I may," Maya heard herself saying, "sometimes violence isn't chosen because we're primitive. Sometimes it's chosen because the alternative is watching innocent people die while we're still scheduling the first round of peace talks." The lecture hall fell silent. Several students shifted uncomfortably. The Vraxian who'd wrinkled his nostrils earlier made a sound like grinding gravel, his species equivalent of a derisive laugh. Thelvara's skin cycled through deep purple into ultraviolet, a sign of irritation. "And that, Cadet Kovac, is precisely the attitude that keeps your homeworld on provisional alliance status. The belief that you alone can determine when words have failed." Maya wanted to argue, wanted to explain that those 17 people were home with their families right now because her team had acted instead of debated. She wanted to show them the footage of the 3-year-old human girl clutching her father's hand as they'd been evacuated, alive and whole. Instead, she simply nodded. "Yes, Professor." The lecture resumed, and Maya dutifully took notes on diplomatic protocols she knew, from experience, would crumble the moment someone decided ideology mattered more than innocent lives. Her hands had stopped shaking. In 6 hours, she'd be back on the transport to whatever crisis needed crushing next. Some rebellions, after all, couldn't be negotiated away.